Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Main Event Interviews. My name is Main Event. Today, we're visiting with Poetic Snake. We got a snake in the house tonight. Welcome, Poetic Snake.
Welcome, and thank you for having me on your show.
And where in the world are you this evening? Tell us where you are.
I'm in the Netherlands.
All right, so that you're the first person I've talked to, I believe, from the Netherlands on the show, so that's very cool. Expanding our global reach here on the interview show. And how long have you been on Steemit?
If I'm correctly, about 15 months.
Okay, so you're now officially the person who's been on my show the longest. And tell us what brought you to Steemit. Do you remember?
Yes, I do remember. A friend told me about it. I had never heard of it, and it was quite new. I think only a few months old the moment I started. And he told me about it because he knew that I was writing poetry and sharing my arts online on Facebook. And he said, you have to look at this amazing new platform. And that's how I found Steemit.
That's wonderful. So do you know many people in person that are on Steemit, or was it just that one friend?
Just that one friend.
It's interesting. I ask everybody that same question, and it seems like not a lot of us have a lot of, close friends or family yet on the platform, and hopefully someday that will change. We'll all can get some friends to join Steemit. I know that would be nice. Tell us about what you like to put on the platform. You said you're into poetry and other artwork?
Yes, that's correct. I started out with only posting my poetry, and later on I started to share a few of my drawings, and I found that more fun to do. So I started to do craftings and my writings and poetry. So my account is more of a mix of anything creative.
And that's really cool. And I'm looking at your posts right now, and you can find her right on Steemit, Poetic Snake. Tell us some more about the current things you've been working on, or some of the things you've been posting recently.
Well, I have been going deeper into working with waste. Wasting materials is something that I find work with to show people that you can use all those different items to create new things and make it a better place. And so I started working with plastic lids, and I find that very interesting to do and to see what I can do with it. And I find that very amusing to do and to show that. And I like photography and turning that into art as well.
Very cool. I like that a lot. I do some little bit of amateur photography, but I find it cool that you're able to post about lots of different topics and things like that. Are you involved in any different groups on Steemit that are related to poetry or artwork or anything that you wanted to talk about?
Just doing my solo right here.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
I agree.
You are on Minnow support, though, right?
Yes, I am.
And are there any Steemit users out there who maybe helped you early on, other than your friend, or maybe people that you are close with on the platform now that you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I had a lot of help by First Sticken. I think a lot of people know him, and he's always been very friendly to me. And when I just came on the platform, he invited me to his chat channel. And later he turned to Discord as well. So he had, he helped me understand a lot of crypto and also how Steemit worked, and the people in his group as well.
So you've been on the platform for over a year now, and you're now officially the person who's been on the longest on my show. You just broke the record.
Woohoo!
And I see you just broke 1,000 followers as well. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So tell us, what is it about Steemit that's kept you on here for over a year? Did you take a break at all during that time, or what is it that's kept you here for over a year?
Well, first of all, I think it's an amazing platform where people are very different from other social sites. That is what I like about Steemit the most, that you can be yourself and make friends. And one of the things is that takes you as you are and does not want to change you, and that's something I really like. But I did take a break. I have to be honest about that. For a few months ago, my life changed, and I lost my dad, and it and I couldn't post, so I stopped and I went. And when I came back after a few months, I think 2.5 months, it still felt the same, amazing, just so friendly and pal. I mean, that's the most amazing group I have ever. So helpful and open to each other. That is just amazing.
And wouldn't you say that? I'm sorry to hear about your family member passing. And wouldn't you say though that this platform is so much more social and so much more welcoming than others?
Yeah, absolutely. So different than Facebook, for instance. And I was there, trying to get my name out and sell my books, and the typical things you try to do to make a living. And all I get there is being harassed, the most awful inboxes and stuff. And Steemit is so different. It's not about that, and that is so amazing about this platform.
Absolutely, I totally agree. It's really like night and day. I mean, it's people on here that are encouraging. They'll comment on your posts and actually say encouraging feedback sometimes. And if maybe you could have did something a little better or whatnot, they're not mean about it. And the platform is just truly refreshing to me.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, getting feedback is something I personally really enjoy. I always aim to do better, to learn better, and I feel that my writing has become better as well because people just offer, a helping hand and say, "Hey, do you need a little hand in this?" And I mean, that's something I did not find anywhere else.
That's great. I'm glad to hear that. And so, tell us a little bit more about your writing. So, what types of things do you like to write about?
Well, I'm mostly into fantasy and horror, so in the dark side of writings. And I keep my postings on Steemit a little bit more clean because I like go into gory details. And when I started posting that, I didn't really get any good responses, and I even lost a few followers. So I don't think this platform is ready for that side of me yet. But yeah.
Well, I mean, everybody's going to have their own opinions and things, but yeah, my only suggestion, I guess, would be to do what most of your fans want you to do, right? I mean, and I would say that to pretty much anybody, as long as you're not overly being offensive or, hateful or something like that. I mean, hey, it's your artwork, right?
Yeah, true. And with my poetry and the stories I share, they are still fantasy and they are still in the genre I like to write in mostly. So it's still me, but I just keep it a little bit more clean because, yeah, I don't want to lose too many followers.
Sure. Now, besides your writing, and I'm curious, so you said you were on Facebook and things, but how long have you been a writer per se, like a professional writer or blogger?
Well, I'm neither. I'm not a professional writer and I'm not a professional blogger. But I started writing around 8 years ago on Facebook because I found a group of writers who did role play writing. So I got interested in that. It tickled my brain because you could create stories together. And so I made my first char, and that was a snake demon. And that's where my name comes from, Poetic Snake. And she's the main star in my stories and in my books. And yeah, so about 8 years.
And that's really cool, and I'm happy you've brought that talent over here to Steemit. I'm really hoping more writers and artists and photographers will bring their talents over here to Steemit, where hopefully they can be appreciated. I know I personally do a lot of curating, and I've come across so many amazing, talented artists on Steemit, and it's truly wonderful to support them and to to help them get their works out?
Yeah, I try to vote as much as I can, and I always go to the art section because yeah, I mean that's where my heart is, so that's where I go first, and yeah, I like to support them like they support me, and it's just amazing to do that. You can help them in that way, but it's also amazing to see all the different kinds of creativity that lives among the people. Everybody makes their own content, and I think that every single little piece of art is amazing because it comes from inside a person. So I love to see all the different things, from pictures to drawings to paintings, and you name it. I love it.
I totally agree. That's one of my favorite categories to look at. And I'm just, again, looking through your posts and things, and I think it's great that you're doing like the photography posts combined with poetry. You actually did poetry about the photographs, right?
Yes, and about paintings as well. I like to do that. Then I create the painting or the drawing or the picture first, and then I sit down and then I the mind.
Now, how often are you able to create your artwork and your poetry? Is it something you're able to do often, or does your daily life kind of get in the way of that?
No, my daily life is being creative. So I have lots of time on my hands, and I can't live a day without creating something.
That's really awesome. I think that's fascinating. So, what types of things do you have planned maybe coming up, or do things kind of just come to you and you just make it happen?
Mostly things just come to me and I make them happen, but I am really looking forward to the winter season because with the pictures, photographs I take these days, I turn them into little pieces of art, and I am looking forward to do that in the winter. So that's something I want to do, and I'm working on a new book, which I share the story online as well.
Where do you usually share your books and things like that? Are you sharing those like online as well, or have you ever actually had one published?
I am a self-published author, so yes, I have books out. I have a poetry book out, and I have three English books out, fantasy, horror slash short stories, and they are on Amazon. And I try to push them out sometimes, but I'm not big in promoting
Sure.
things.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I understand that totally. I was just curious if, how far your reach was, beyond like Facebook and Steemit. And I think that's really amazing, and congratulations, that you've been able to get your content, to reach really far. I think that's awesome.
yeah, thank you. It's amazing. I have a friend. He edits my book, and he lives in America. And sometimes we come together on Facebook because he lost his key password for Steemit. And so silly, but yeah, he edits my books, and because of him, I got a lot of readers in his area in America, and that feels so amazing.
Absolutely. That's one of the things I love the most about Steemit is just being able to interact with everybody from all over the world. I mean, right now I'm talking to you, you're in the Netherlands, and I mean, that's amazing to me that I'm even talking to somebody in the Netherlands, and Steemit is the reason.
Yeah, how wonderful is that? The internet is the invention of the all time. I mean, dream about being able to talk online to people outside Europe, and here we are connecting all over the world.
Absolutely. And I mean, of course, there's other platforms and things, but there's just something different about Steemit. Like, there just is. I can't really put my finger on it. It just seems like the people who are here now, they're the people who seem to be more open to their ideas and just their beliefs, and they're more willing to share, and they're just more, it seems like, creative people, and I'm just so grateful to be a part of that.
Yeah, me too. I wouldn't change anything for the world now on this moment. Um, I went to Facebook a lot of times before, and now I find myself mostly here on Steemit, reading, connecting, trying to make friendships with people.
Were there any other Steemit users or anybody else out there that you can think of that you wanted to give a shout out to before we move on to something else? Or I was just trying to think if you had anybody else.
Yeah, there are a few I really would like to shout out. I wanted to start with JJ because he didn't mention me in his interview with you. So I said I'm not going to mention him, but he's amazing. He helps me a lot as well. I love Samo. I mean, come on, that guy is just amazing. And I love Stitchy Bitch, and the way she writes really touches me. I love Chimugs. And I have this little crush on Dingo.
And those are, of course, all people that you're interacting with in Minnow support, right?
Yes, I got to know them through Minnow support, yes.
That group is such a blessing, I feel like, to everybody who joins it. Don't you agree?
Everybody on Steemit should join. It's an amazing, warm place. It's open, friendly, helpful. It's just, I call it home. I finally have a spot I really want to be, and that is unique for me because I don't. I have problems connecting to people, but yeah.
I think a lot of us have that same feeling about MSP. We all feel very welcome there. We've all met people and interacted with them and been there for good times and bad times and read their content and really gotten to know them better. And as I've mentioned in previous interviews, that's so helpful when you go to read their content or look at their posts. You can actually put a personality behind those words or those pictures, and you understand a little more, like maybe why they're creating that content. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I agree with you fully. I am a nosy person, so I like to get to know more about the name. And if you read the content or you are able to connect with someone through the MSP chat, that is just so amazing. And it's all laughing and giggles, but I know that if you're down or feeling bad or you need help, you just have to do a shout out there, and they're all over you, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, no one there is going to judge you. They're not going to, make fun of you. They're there to be supportive, and that's just a wonderful community, the Minnow Support Project. I'm very grateful to be a part of it. It's now being featured to new users when they join Steemit now. That's just something that recently has happened, so that's wonderful. And so hopefully we'll get more and more new people into that group, and they'll have a great first experience with Steemit.
Yeah, I wish I had that same experience when I joined. Yeah, I had mostly before I met First Taken, I had to find out everything myself, and I did it. I mean, I just push buttons and just try things, and you go a long way. But if you are having this wonderful group of people who are standing there with open arms and just giving you the warmest welcome you have ever had, you are just the most happy minnow you can ever be. So I wish I was there sooner, but at least I'm there now, and I couldn't be more happy.
Are there any other things you would like to mention or talk about on the show, like any upcoming projects you might be doing, or any, I don't know if you're doing any contests, or who knows? Is there anything Steemit related that you wanted to mention on the show?
Well, I started the Positive Sunday Challenge. Every Sunday I make a post and I use a picture or a photograph or sometimes even a known painting, and I challenge people to turn that into positive vibes and feelings and share it all over Steemit. And of course there's a prize attached to it. It's not big. It's $5 Steam dollars, but mostly I just hope that people share more positive feelings, and that's my challenge. And every Sunday I post about it, and I hope that more people will enter.
So that is the Positive Sunday Challenge from Poetic Snake. You can find that right on her Steemit blog. I'm all about positivity, and on Sundays I can usually post things, so that will work out perfect.
Ooh, that will, yes. I'm all about posting positive things and, sharing a smile and making people laugh, even with my silly ways of writings. Yesterday, I posted my first rant about animal abuse, and it's against everything in my system to write something negative, but I want it out. So, you know, I'm all about positive, and I love positive posts, and I want to make people happy.
Well, that is a wonderful thing to be bringing to Steemit, I must say. So, great work with that.
Try my
And
best.
all right, well, let's see. Are you working on any artworks or projects right now, currently, or you're just waiting for that next great idea to come to you?
No, I am working on a few clay projects, which is totally new to me. Sculpting and getting your hands dirty. And I found out I like to create females. Um, so that's what I'm working on, and I'm going to share them. I am just not sure if I should use the not suitable for work tag on it, because I like to show parts of the body as well. And that's what I'm working on right now, and I hope to be able to share about that somewhere next week.
Again, everybody, we're visiting with Poetic Snake, coming to us from the Netherlands, and she's been on Steemit now over a year, so pretty much I would call you a veteran Steemit user. And what types of words of encouragement, or what types of things would you like to say to any users out there who maybe are new to the platform, or maybe they've been on a little while but they're struggling with their posts, they're not getting a lot of rewards, things like that? What types of things would you say to them to keep them encouraged about Steemit?
Well, first of all, I would say stop caring about the money. That is something you can be worried about later. Most people I found who start on try to post what others like. And I think you need to stay true to yourself and just post what you like, post what makes you happy. And with that, you will gain your followers who feel the good and happy emotions in your writings. And I know it's discouraging to see the same people making loads and loads and loads of money. And I mean, in the beginnings, I made a shitload of money with my post. $500 was something normal almost, and now I make around between 5 and 10, and that is huge, And just stay true to yourself, follow your heart, post what you really, really, really love, because people can read that you write. And don't give up. Just keep posting once, twice a day, or maybe once every 3 days, and also be active. It's something I need to do more myself, is reply to other people's posts. Be active, find them, and show your support, and to be able to get it in return.
Very well said. I like that. Great work. Well, unless there was anything else you wanted to mention on the show, or any last minute people you wanted to mention?
Well, no, but I would like to thank you for having this show. It's amazing. Last week I typed it when I was listening to it. You get to know people better by hearing them speak, and voices are amazing. I have a thing for voices, and I always imagine a voice with a person. So last week was DBC fan JJ, and I heard his voice, and it's like, whoa, that's very different than I thought it would be. It's really amazing to listen to the interviews, and I want to give you a spotlight of that you are doing a great thing.
Well, I really appreciate that. Thank you. And I know everybody's enjoying hearing all the different stories, what brought all of you folks to Steemit, what's keeping you here, what you write about. And like you said, it's fun hearing all the different voices, and just really getting to know everybody through the interviews and the chats.
Yeah, that's really amazing, and I think you should never stop. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. Interview them all.
Well, we'll try. That's part of the goal right there, is to just keep it going, and eventually I want to interview some, because right now I've interviewed minnows, I've interviewed some veterans. I would like to interview like some witnesses and people from all the different walks of life of Steemit, because it's truly fascinating to hear all of the stories.
Well, maybe in time you can interview Dan or Nat. That would be amazing as well.
Who knows? Time will tell, right?
Yes, never give up hoping or dreaming.
All right, well, that's been Poetic Snake here on the show. You can find her right on Steemit. It's just the two words, Poetic and Snake, all combined into one word. And, of course, she's got lots of wonderful artwork posts and poetry and other art-related things on her blog, and lots of other awesome content on there. So if you're into those types of things, definitely check her out. And I want to thank you so much for being on the show with me today, Poetic Snake.
I want to thank you for having me. I was very, very nervous, and I loved it. I loved it. It was amazing to be here. So thank you.